We don't have an intro in this show.
Nope. Never going to have one.
As longtime listeners may know, we also didn't test the mic levels. So hopefully they're... just make it consistent. Stop. I see your hand hovering. I see it. Stop. Just make it consistent.
Okay.
People can deal with consistency.
I hope so.
And what I wanted to say was, here's a radical theory for you.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
We should take everybody's guns away.
Uh-huh.
And give it to threatened people who actually need guns.
Who are in danger.
So only people who need guns get guns, and that does not include the police. So let's give trans people guns. Right. Here you go.
Right.
Here's your lipstick. Here's a gun.
Whoa.
That's what I say.
Whoa.
Well, I'm oversimplifying, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
For the sake of comedy, but that's what I think.
Okay.
Because it's more sad that it's in real life, but the way it touches me mostly is when I'm watching media and there's a trans character, and I know that trans character is going to be dead or in the hospital by the end of the thing, and I don't want them to stop doing that because that is all too real in the real world.
Right.
But, well, I guess if we could solve two problems at once. Let's fix it in the real world, and then I don't have to worry for every trans character I see in a film or TV show.
Right. Right.
Let's arm them. But only them.
Right.
You wouldn't mess with them, would you?
No, I understand why. I understand why you're saying it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not.
Stay away, J.K.
Right. Exactly. Oh my goodness.
How much have we poured into her? That's my secret, Cap. I never liked anything. That's my secret.
Are you saying anything?
Yeah.
Or you just never really liked Harry Potter? Because I know that.
Yeah, remember the first Martha Jones season of Doctor Who? Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, you got to read the 7th book. Oh, I cried. It's like, yeah, let's double down on that. And then they say Expelliarmus at the end. That's how they finish the Carrionite spell.
Oh, it's totally infiltrated throughout our culture.
Who videos?
No. Throughout the world culture. I mean,
do Who videos.
Okay.
It's just like 80s. It's like Daleks falling out of buildings to like craft work or something like that.
Sure. I'd watch that.
I'm sorry, you were saying. I'm sure it was important.
I'm just saying Harry Potter is everywhere. It's in the zeitgeist of our culture. And
I explain a lot, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm entertained by my explaining, but I feel like you get really didactic. Throw a joke in there. They say that to everybody. Any public speaker, say.
I'm not funny.
Well, that's why they have to say it to a public speaker. Throw a joke in there.
Well, you teach me how to be funny, and then I'll throw a joke in there.
This is like coming to Pavarotti saying, "Master, teach me to sing." That's from Seinfeld. That's how I learned how to be funny.
Okay.
Insofar as that worked out at all, because that's my secret, Cap. I never liked Seinfeld either.
What?
Let's talk about the films we're talking about today.
Yes.
I lost the top one. We never know.
You won.
We're talking about my movie first.
Yeah, that means you won.
No.
Yes.
Because you picked the number, and it was that number, so...
No, it was... No. I said the opposite of what it was, which meant that you got to go
that you
first.
Win.
No. That's not what that means. Whoever goes first won.
You're saying it's a privilege to go first.
Yes.
Even though neither of us want to go first.
I don't have a problem with
My
going
film
first.
was The Breakfast Club from 1985.
Yes.
I've never seen The Breakfast Club. That's not true. I have seen The Breakfast Club, but I've never cared about The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
I've never seen it. We all know this game. I've never seen it enough to know anything that happens in it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was on at a party. That's your that's your line that I'm stealing.
Yeah.
There was definitely a period in my life where I was a nascent film fan, and I went to the video update in my hometown and grabbed a bunch of movies whose titles I knew.
Yep.
Or had a girl in a bikini on the cover.
Wow.
Not that one. And but it was also being eclipsed by that time when I'd throw on a movie and maybe you're just going to suck face for the whole time. And so it's hard to...
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's why Mel Gibson's Hamlet, I rented it the night before, watched it all myself, then rented it the next night. That's a long one. You can suck face throughout the entire thing.
Wow.
What happens in The Breakfast Club?
So
this is, you literally can't stretch this one out forever because it is literally, the premise is the entire movie and it's just a repetition of that premise forever.
Yeah. So there's 5 teenagers get detention on a Saturday.
Slut, a Zoomer,
This is not accurate.
a guy from a Beantowner.
Wow.
I don't know.
They're all
one of them doesn't shiv.
They're all very different from each other, but they throughout their interactions with each other, they learn that they're not necessarily as different as they thought, and they learn about each other, and they kind of become friends.
John Hughes was only born in 1950.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't he know slang? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's like the gag me with a spoon. Like, what, didn't that just come from like Valley Girl? Like, nobody ever actually said gag me with a spoon, right?
Yeah, probably
I always feel
not.
like
but I feel like that worked into my
this
teenage
Ferris
vernacular.
Bueller, Twinks, wastoids. He's a righteous dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't. It's always like, all right, Frank Miller, just calm down. Did you finish?
Wow.
Like I told you, there's
I think I finished.
There's no plot. There's
Why
only,
are you asking me if I finished?
because I wasn't listening. There's no plot. There's only a premise. So we got it.
They have detention together. There's one teacher who's watching them, and he's kind of a jerk. And
these bad boys and girls. Oh no, save it. This is, if we wanted to, we could. This is the most cancelable or demonetizable show we've ever done. There's a lot of popular music connected to these two films that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
How much could we sing before they're on to us?
I don't know.
For the robot.
I guess it depends.
What if we're really bad and the robot's just like,
I can't recognize it.
I feel pity.
Yeah.
I am not programmed to, but I
And
have
then
developed
I would say, don't you
pity.
forget about me.
She's a bass. So okay, all right. I didn't. It's fine. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
There is something about how, remember, like we've talked about this. I've blown your mind with this a couple times, and it isn't the '80s. The '80s is just like a re-examination, a new Coke version of it. But remember, like teenagers have only existed, for maybe 30 years at this point.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before.
And and teenageism as a movement has gone through, evolutions. And so this is the real self-conscious phase, ironically. Mm-hmm. This is the self-conscious phase of teenageism. Mm-hmm. And so they've got like, don't you forget about me, which I guess is what they could afford. But it starts with a Bowie quote from Changes. And it's like, well, Changes wasn't groovy enough for you? You couldn't afford Changes? Mm-hmm. Is that the problem?
Maybe.
Like, why start with the Bowie quote? But I guess we couldn't
because they're breaking it like glass.
Yeah, and then it breaks because they've got attitude.
Yeah,
they're going to detention to
all
the
over
extreme.
to you. Yeah,
yeah.
Too extreme for Bowie.
We ain't no neo maxi Zoom dweebies. Yeah. We're cool kids.
Yeah.
In this wealthy Chicago neighborhood.
Right.
That's like suburbs, upper middle class, like all John Hughes stuff. So anyway, what fascinates me about this movie is that where I think it really succeeds, and it clearly was I don't remember, we don't do any trivia, so I don't know. But it was clearly designed to be like a play. There are a couple like set pieces where they maybe spend a little money, use another camera, but I don't know if they didn't have a lot of money or if it was just the idea that he had, five wheels, a loser, a wastoid. What do they say? A princess, a criminal, a jockey guy,
what are they?
nerdazoid.
God, what
is a head case, a basket case.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right.
Just get 5 teenagers in search of a plot, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think it works. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the reasons it works is, for the most part, they and I think this is probably down to the actors more than anything else, but they have their own voices. I think they are distinct.
Yep.
And they are not. It all leads up. What makes it all work is the confession scene. At the end.
Oh my God.
Oh, don't.
Yes.
It's not. Yeah, but at which I think that were all improvised, right? That's a piece of trivia I heard somewhere one time.
I don't know. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Because of that ceramic elephant one. But anyway, and it works because of that. I think the pacing is really what makes it work. A lot of the jokes really aren't that funny. But, you could sell it like it's not supposed to be like a rollicking.
No.
This isn't a Ferris Bueller here.
Right.
But I mean, what if it was funny? Right. What if it was funnier?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I was trying to think, like, as we were sitting down to do this, like, what my favorite John Hughes movie is. And I don't know that I have a really
Home
good
Alone.
answer. Home Alone.
No, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but Home Alone
Wow.
is a close second. Because Home Alone is just, it's a good
It is a good
flick.
movie.
Yeah.
Probably Say Anything or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think I like Pretty in Pink better than 16 Candles, but it's been a while. I like this movie okay. But I think where it sticks out is what you just said, that confession scene. You know, I mean, you have we've seen this like a lot, right? And I don't know when this started. Like, you have a teen movie, and they're all different, right? But yet somehow they come to get to know each other, and
But they're all, you know, they're all special,
right?
And they're all, look, we had a misunderstanding, you know, but we're kind of the same,
right?
And I'm not saying that, like, except for was one kid going to shoot the school up?
That was unclear.
We'll come back to that,
Yeah,
or maybe not. But what I like is that part is shot through with existential angst, because they don't have an answer to, you know, do we have to become our parents? And I think the window has closed on Breakfast Club 2 at this point. I think they're all a little too old, but
yeah.
But they can reflect on that. There isn't an answer. It keeps that. I think a worser movie, if I can speak for you, would just.
Well, I have more to say. But...
Okay, well then I'll finish this part. Would make them all just special little snowflakes with talents, and this doesn't. And that's all part of the whole, you know, wasted generation. You know, we're young, loves a battlefield, or, you know, whatever song you want to put in there. Like,
right.
It's like we don't have to live up to the people that won World War II.
Right. Well, and I think, you know, when Brian, Michael, is it Michael Hall?
Who cares?
Okay.
The nerd.
Yes, the nerd asks what happens on Monday. Like, are we going to still be friends? I think that's a really important part of that scene, too, because Molly Ringwald is like, well, no, I don't think we are. And she's a little sad about that, too, but she's, like, trying to be honest about it. And, like, Bender, like, calls her on it and is like, that's really mean. That's, like, really rude.
Yeah.
And everybody is like, but everybody kind of agrees.
The script is well put together in that way, in that it isn't like they just go around the circle and everybody says, here's what I'm most afraid of, here's why I'm here today. Like, it all comes out kind of pell-mell. And her big thing is, because she's this kind of uniting force for them up to that point, but her biggest hurdle is, you know, my status and my popularity is based on excluding you. So, and they don't say that out loud for the most part, and I think that really works. But then Judd Nelson steamrolls the entire thing with his overacting. Let's talk about Judd Nelson.
Okay.
I think the first half of this movie, for sure, relies a lot on the magnetism of Bender and Judd Nelson as a performer, which...
I don't like Bender.
I bet this knocked him out then, but this character is played out. They don't even do this character anymore, really, in high school things now, because that character's dead. Maybe Bender killed it. I don't know. But it just doesn't work. And is he in brownface?
What?
He's just kind of like got a good tan, right?
Yeah, I didn't get that he was in brownface.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
I'm wrong.
It just seems like he's got a lot of foundation,
Okay.
and there's some of the coating of the clothes, and I don't really know. But he's just, we get it. He's the kind of burnout stoner that was, you know, of that time.
Right.
The kind of stereotype that Bill and Ted bucked, which was why they're such good characters.
Right.
But he just like.
But Bill and Ted are like nice.
He takes over the entire. He's the whole first. That's what I'm saying. He's the whole first half of the movie is all him. He's clearly the Hamlet here. Like, this is all about him. Mm-hmm. And then that finally goes away, and the movie gets a lot better, I think.
Yes, I agree.
But is he doing a one-man show? Here's my question. Yeah. Is all of his stuff, is he not even in detention? Is he just like an artist who just showed up?
He's just doing a soliloquy.
I'm doing a 9-hour one-man show.
Yeah.
He's just a frustrated artist who's like workshopping material or something like that.
Right. What is
because he's a real talent if that's true.
Right.
No. They all get together at the end. He pushes him a little far.
Yeah.
But this is a Goodwill Hunting situation. He is a counselor with a non-standard therapy technique. That's why he's the only one who's like 30. And the rest of them are all teenagers.
I remember the first couple times watching this, I never understood why Molly Ringwald was attracted to him. Or why she liked him.
It still doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't make sense. No. I was looking for it more closely.
Monday she will not acknowledge him.
Right. I was looking.
She'll want that earring back.
Right. I was looking for it more closely this time around, and there are little hints where she kind of like smiles at him, like
right,
maybe she kind of thinks that like, oh, this bad boy is kind of hot or something.
Well, I mean,
that's
of course that's what it's supposed to be, but they're just.
Why he's such a jerk?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, anyway, I want to do a one-man show of Breakfast Club. Okay. I do all the characters.
You do all the characters?
And
You'll
it's
do
a
all the
one-man
dancing
show.
By yourself?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for the challenge.
You're going to get high and laugh at your own jokes.
Do you like it when, is he assistant principal or what is he?
I don't know.
Because he doesn't have, that. He's insecure. He doesn't have that much authority, right? But anyway, Vernon, you like when Vernon just literally abuses a child when he's just going off on Bender and he's just basically trying to start a fight with him? No, I did not like that. Am I supposed to like feel for that character too? Because later on, he and the janitor are hanging out and it's like,
and they're drinking beers.
Yeah. Hey, parents, you're watching this with your kids, you know?
Right.
Give them some slack.
Hey, parents, you want to punch your kid in the face sometimes?
He turns to the camera.
Yeah.
These children that you spit on.
Yeah.
You know, change, yeah. So anyway, that guy, he's still alive, isn't he? And like the only thing he ever did that anybody ever remembers is this. So like I think he does like Rocky Horror Nights with it and stuff, and he's a real booster.
Okay, well,
for the film, but I just don't.
Fine, but like you said, when that happened, I'm like, what is this? I don't want this.
Yeah,
I mean, he could be kind of a jerk, and be mean and stuff like that, but not abusive.
They would just call the cops now.
Yeah.
The police would have come 5 times during the course of this film. I think I did see this on TV, and the getting high scene was edited out. I think they just cut all the explicit them, smoking reefer drugs.
And Emilio Estevez
and then just for some reason
office.
he's just freaking out and like dancing.
Oh right.
And
just
suddenly Anthony Michael Hall is real cool. He's got shades on.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah. So one of my most vivid memories involving this is when I was in high school. My English teacher, I think it was like my sophomore year, she was a child of the 80s. Like, she was a teenager in the 80s when, like, this came out. And...
Is she single?
Stop. She, like, we had to watch something for class. I can't remember what it was. So she had the TV VCR. What? Am I not talking into the mic?
Nice.
Okay.
Subtle.
Sorry. She had the TV VCR all set up, and she like pushed play, and she had the big dance scene where they're all dancing together, all at the Breakfast Club, all revved up, ready to go, and she just played that, and just kind of watched our reactions, and then like she like stopped it at the end of it, and she was talking about how much she loved it, and then we watched whatever we were supposed to watch. Oh, it was
positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was going to be like, seems pretty fun, doesn't it?
Oh, no. She was just like, I love this movie. Now we'll watch what we need to watch.
Turns the chair around. All right, listen up.
No, it was just a fun little thing for my English
Captain
teacher.
Monterey Jack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, did you, I don't know. I want to talk about the idea that some of it is improvised. I mean, when you've got like Steve Martin and John Candy go nuts.
Yeah.
But it's, letting 4 teenage actors and one guy who's
why have
got
one
a job
guy
to get back
who's
to.
Like...
I don't know how old he was. He just looks significantly older than the rest of them. Handing your movie over to them. I mean, you can just say, "Cut." No, we're not doing that. Here's a script page. But I think that was like a good idea. Mm-hmm. You have to worry about it all working because like the emotional payoff climax of the movie begins with a guy asking, "What? My dad's like, yeah, why isn't my kid taping people's butts together? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like what the things that they choose, I guess, don't matter if the honesty is there. Yeah. But when you're gonna move on into the scene, somebody might reach back and use some of your butt taping to get to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever done like a group improv,
Right.
and but I mean, like I said, it's a Hollywood movie. You can massage whatever you want, but I don't know. That's once Bender stopped performing and doing bad like cosplay of like an '80s burnout, and they started to get like real about stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'm into the movie now.
Yeah.
And
I
then
agree.
once I got in, the second I was in, it's over.
I know, right? It just kind of ends.
I mean, I guess you're not going to show him at school the next day.
I know. You almost kind of wish because you kind of want to see. Well, are they going to say hi to each other? Are they going to?
Yeah, but I mean, it's...
But that, why would you? Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
I'm out of things to say.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask because you said I should ask this on the air. Why doesn't Emilio Estevez act anymore?
I didn't say... First of all, don't say that I told you to say things off the air.
Well, I asked you and you didn't answer my question, so I'm looking for an answer now.
Except if it's like, you're queuing me up for a big compliment or something like that. Or to talk about my other podcasts. I don't know. It's funny because, okay, so he, was a huge star.
Yeah.
In the 90s. And, he did okay in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started to get into he directed a movie or two.
Okay.
And then he just sort of, stopped.
Okay.
And somebody interviewed him once, and I think he was like, because I don't know, they must have caught him at the supermarket or something. Mm. And he's like, I'm a shy person, and I don't, and to do this, you have to sort of seek that out. And he's a sheen.
I know.
Plus, he was a famous, successful movie star. I read a thing that was like, and maybe this has changed now, thanks to Ryan Gosling or somebody, but for a while there, he was like the highest, I don't know what you call it, but like he was the actor who got the highest returns based on expenditures on films. Like you put Emilio Estevez in something in the 90s, you're going to make a lot of money,
right? And
you're not going to fail unless it's Free Jack.
Uh-huh.
But we'll give him that one. And of course, it has, of course, when you quit early, yeah, Lou Gehrig had great all-time stats,
okay,
but he didn't have declining years,
right?
So it was that, he was married to Paula Abdul for like 2 whirlwind years, and I think that really, for a shy person, that really turned his life upside down. And so, I don't know, he's just chilling. Plus, you got a brother who's catching everything. He's catching all the bad press.
Yep.
Why not just sit on your investments and just have a good life?
Yeah, I guess.
I'd never really seen this before in like Young Guns or whatever. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it really looks like his dad in this movie a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
And it made me like, I really saw it in the scene where he got wasted and punched a mirror, too, when he was talking about taping people's butts. So.
Well, he did shatter the glass in the...
That's true.
So there was that.
That's true. So, yeah, like Judd Nelson, another star that kind of burned out. He's still around somewhere, but just really going for it. I'm sure that's what he was directed to do. I just think it's a little much. But then again, this is the 80s. Now you're Edward. You don't say anything. Ooh, that guy doesn't say anything. He's so mysterious. Mm-hmm. But back then it was like, yeah, hey, what's going on?
Right, I know. I really liked, what's her name? Allison Sheedy's character.
Allison to her mother. Allie to the rest of us.
Oh, sorry. Ally Sheedy's
I guess.
character. I thought she had some really funny things.
I think Cameron Crowe probably watched this movie and was like, I was so close.
Why do you say that?
I could have put that girl in... she was in Fast Times. Was she? Wait.
I don't know.
Who was in Fast Times? No, maybe Alice Sheedy wasn't in Fast Times. But that's just, I don't know. It's like a proto, Manic Pixie Dream Girl type character. Especially when she gets she's all that makeover at the end.
Yeah,
she's
I didn't
pretty
really
now.
appreciate that.
Therefore,
part.
she has value.
Yeah. I didn't appreciate that because I feel like her and Emilio's character had a connection a little earlier on when she was talking about
dress him up.
Her parents.
Dress her up for the jock.
And stuff like that. Yeah, I know, right? And then you put makeup on her
and have a ceremony.
And like you said, where'd she get that blouse?
And then
where did that headband come from? And then yeah. Anyways, that was a little much, but it's okay.
See,
maybe I don't really like a lot of. I don't like a lot of movies where it's go off.
I have nothing left to say.
They all end up with each other.
Do
at
another
the
5
end.
minutes.
It's like annoying. And then, of course, nobody ends up with a nerd. What the hell?
He's an athlete. He doesn't have time to date.
Yeah, whatever.
Plus, he's got a school shooting scheduled for.
I don't understand what they were trying to say. Like, if they were
He was going to kill himself because he got an F.
At school?
Yeah, I know.
That's weird.
Also, you want to talk about privilege? The kid brought a gun to school, which went off in his locker.
And he just got detention.
And he got 1 day of detention.
1 day of detention.
A weekend detention.
Yeah, right. But he didn't get, like, expelled or anything like that.
No.
Right.
Now, compare bringing a gun to school to 100 butts taped together.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Not
What's
quite
the exchange
same
rate there?
thing. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
Ultimately, 0 out of 10. No breakfast.
No breakfast? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Why is it called the Breakfast Club?
Because that's what Michael Hall, what Brian calls themselves at the end. After he, like,
That's a
gives
dumb
them
thing to
all-
call them.
After he gives them all horrible nicknames and calls them criminals in basket cases. So I hope they had a say in all that. But
What if they ate breakfast? Would the movie's title make sense?
yeah, I know, right? They have them eat lunch, but
Yeah, they should be called the Lunch Club.
yeah, right?
It should be called the Olive Loaf Club
Oh,
or whatever.
gross.
They don't carry that at Cub. I always look every time I go.
I am so sorry.
It's good.
You can have all of it.
Look, how many years has it been since you've eaten a bologna sandwich or just eaten bologna?
Probably not since like second grade when I.
That's a long time.
So like it was like
Bologna has come leaps and bounds since then.
I can't eat it anymore.
But I'm just saying, if you're gonna eat bologna anyway to scratch that bologna itch, why not
I don't
throw
have that.
some pimentos or green olives in there too?
Gross.
Eat Braunschweiger. I've seen you eat Braunschweiger. That's like bologna on steroids.
Whatever, not the same thing. I had a bologna sandwich
that's the
for
German Jew
like
in you.
first and second grade every single
I believe
day,
you.
and I could not. I just couldn't. One day, I just couldn't eat it anymore. I'm just like, I am all bologna
If you were
out.
you were a video game character, and that pinkish bar was full.
Yes, my entire body is bologna now. I think I'm done. So yes,
That explains your beautiful complexion. Let's talk about the movie that you chose to talk about. What was it?
yeah. I chose Bad Boys.
Bad
Yeah.
boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do?
Computer's like, it's not worth it. It isn't
I got nothing.
worth it. I'm
Yeah.
Mike Lowry. It came out in 1995.
Yes.
It is an early Michael Bay film, one of the earliest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like looking at his career to figure out which one. It's his first movie.
Oh, okay.
I just looked.
Really?
Produced by Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. And you're like, who's Don Simpson? Oh no.
What?
A lightning bolt hits a tree and we'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Don Simpson was Jerry Bruckheimer's partner. And
Oh.
I don't know if he did more coke than Jerry Bruckheimer or just had a weakness built in, but he passed away. And so now...
When did he pass away?
Oh, it was a while ago. Not too long after this. I think The Rock was the first to use the because it's like they're going on a highway and there's a lightning bolt or something.
Yeah.
And now the lightning bolt hits a tree and that's Don Simpson's legacy, that tree. That lightning struck tree.
Because I know Jerry
This is
Jerry
like ancient
Bruckheimer.
Hollywood history.
He's produced so much.
All of Michael Bay's films.
So okay, this seems like a huge production film for it to be your first major film to direct.
It's only 19 million.
Wow.
Look, that's Michael Bay spent years making however much the Milk Board wanted to give him look like more than that. I was going to say maybe they gave him $1 million. It'd be bad if they gave you $2 million. Oh, to make it look $1 million.
Yeah.
Aim higher.
Yeah. Right.
Making a commercial look like a movie. So he is good at that. A lot of times it helps when you can't get a good look at anything because the camera's cutting around so fast. But we'll talk about it. Sure, I'll tell you what happens at Bad Boys.
Tell us what happens.
We open in Miami. We know because a plane flies over a sign that says Miami.
Yeah.
And Marcus Burnett and Michael Lowry they happen to be black. They are vice detectives, or they're narcotics detectives. Excuse me. I'm thinking of a different Miami voice. And they work in the police district. The police district is hit by criminals led by a French master criminal named Fouché, who steal this huge drug bust that they did, like 2 pallets of heroin.
Right.
And they've got to get the drugs back in 72 hours, or Marge Helgenberger from IA is going to shut them down.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to do that, and they have to find the lead. Well, luckily, not luckily for her, Mike's friend Max, who is a high-class prostitute, goes to a party that Eddie Dominguez, I got a lot of details.
You do. A lot of names.
Who is an ex-cop and was the inside man on the job, invites her, or hires her, I guess.
Yeah.
She brings her friend because that happens. Sometimes call girls bring their friends along.
Her roommate.
And tell them that it's just a party.
Yeah.
That character is played by Téa Leoni. His name is Julie. Max is killed by Fouché when he comes to break up the party. Julie escapes by jumping into a pool in a pretty cool shot. Mm-hmm. And she contacts the police station for reasons that don't really matter, because this is partially a farce as well as an action movie.
Yep.
Mike Lowry is out of the station, and little Martin Lawrence has to pretend to be Will Smith.
Yep.
And so throughout the movie, he is protecting her. She won't go to the cops because an inside cop was, there when Max was killed. And so they have to fool her that they are each other, all while tracking down the criminals in the case and trying to get the drugs back and blowing up just about everything in Miami.
Yes.
What you gonna do? I never even saw Bad Boys for Life. Mostly because 2020.
Oh, yeah, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest grossing films of the year, just because it came out, before. It came out on January 17th, so I was watching a different movie, and that movie was my entire life and visits from my ancestors as I hovered between this world and the next.
Yes, you were very sick.
So I didn't get to see Bad Boys
Yeah.
for life. I have seen Bad Boys 2. It's not good.
Really?
Some people
like Bad Boys too.
They do.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not the same level.
Okay, but think about it. You watch this and you go, "This is a Michael Bay film."
Yeah.
Like
right.
some of these jokes are funny and things are actually
lot of the
tracking.
Jokes were funny. Yeah.
And then Bad Boys 2 is just a Michael Bay film.
Oh, it's just a lot of explosions. And
Tits
stuff.
and explosions, and they wrecked 30 cars, and
Okay.
it ends with them invading Cuba.
Okay.
There's a new character. I think it's Mike's sister, and I can't remember what she does. Maybe she's a cop or wants to be a cop. I don't know. And the bad guys are like Cuban drug lords, and they kidnap her to escape. So the bad boys can't get them, and they go to the guy's villa in Cuba. So instead of calling the U.S. government and the ambassador to Cuba, we don't have one. Anyway, just starting an international incident. They start an international incident.
Yeah.
And they go to their, there's 2 cops that are kind of the Hispanic cops in this movie, but I think they're different actors and different characters.
Okay.
And go, same thing, this shit will get you killed. And they're like, let's do it.
Right.
And they all strap up and fly a helicopter to Cuba and blow up a giant drug lord's mansion.
Wow.
I know I'm making it sound awesome, but
you kind of are.
It's hard to get invested because there's never any real stakes. They're just never going to die.
I mean, so there is more to this than I was expecting. I mean, I know, obviously both Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are funny and stuff like that, but I guess I wasn't necessarily, this was more of a comedy than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of figured there would be jokes in it, but it's more a comedy bent than I was expecting. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Martin Lawrence trying to pretend he was Will Smith. And it just kept getting more...
He was trying to pretend he was Mike Lowry.
Yes. And then I realized something just recently. I believe, Lowry's seasoning salt, I'm pretty sure that you say it like Lowry's seasoning salt, and it's pretty sure you say it that way because of how...
Oh, you're talking about me.
Yes.
The way I say Lowry's seasoning salt.
Yes. It's because of...
It's because of Bad Boys.
Mike Lowry.
Yes. That's why I say it that way.
So
when I make my own Lowry's seasoning salt, you can make your own.
Yeah, right.
I'm not telling you the recipe though.
That's fine.
I love that Wikipedia says that it gained a cult following, and I'm like, this made $141 million on a $20 million budget. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's I guess a modest success. I don't know where it ranked in the year,
right?
But that's that's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily just call it cult.
I guess for Will Smith, maybe it's not Will Smith money.
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know what they're trying to say about that.
Because it came out in the summer, and well, actually, it came out like early summer, in April or May. I remember because I remember going to it many times. Because there's less movies back then. So I was in college.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like spring. So like classes are mostly done. It's just finals. And my roommate and my roommate was a big gun guy, but he was also a big action movie guy. And so it's those heady days of just, it's like a Thursday. It's like 6:15 p.m. You don't have any homework, and you're like, "We're gonna see Bad Boys?" Yeah, sure. So I saw it like 10 times. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Clearly, it was successful. It spawned a sequel. It was for Will Smith a chance for him to dirty up his image a little bit. He's still. You don't think about him still trying to come down off of Fresh Prince.
No.
And he's doing Disney blockbusters. And so he can say the F word, and he can he's a badass, and he's always shooting 3-pointers and stuff like that.
I just thought of something. I think I saw on HBO Max today. I think it might be Will Smith's birthday today.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so happy birthday,
That's
Will Smith.
why we did this.
Yeah, right. We planned it.
That's why we watched this movie six days ago. And,
yeah. Happy birthday, Will Smith. Yeah. But, I mean, there...
Man, Michael Bay likes Miami.
Yeah, well...
We'll just drop that. We'll just drop that and let it lay.
Sorry,
For two reasons. One, Tony Montana's #1 product. Right.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying not to slander Michael Bay by saying he's a big Coke user, but whoop, there we go.
Okay.
And two, that dress that's just like a tube top, top material, but it's like a full body dress, like that. So those two things.
Yeah, those two things.
Those are in high supply in Miami, and also constant sunsets. Every second of this movie, this is a Doctor Who episode where the planet is trapped in an eternal
sunset
golden hour.
Yeah.
All right, now talk. Clearly you want to get something off your chest.
I just want to say, I think the bit where she's like in Will Smith's apartment, but she thinks it's Martin Lawrence's apartment because he's Mike Lowry, and like, and then
that to me.
And she like is like asking. She keeps asking him questions because she's like really confused and she's trying to figure it out, and nothing makes sense. She's like, Who are all these pictures of? And there's all these pictures framed of Will Smith.
Yeah.
And it's just Will Smith. And Martin Lawrence has to come up with a reason. And he's like, it's my partner. And he saved my life.
Every time he saves my life.
I put a picture up of him.
You go to his place. A million pictures of me. Yeah.
But he never, like, explained that to, like, Will Smith or, like, said, like, hey, so if she asked you, this is what's going on. So then, like, she's, like, talking to him about the wall and saying how impressive it is, and he's, like, really confused.
Yeah.
So you just get more comedy out of it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, she has these 2 dogs who are just horrible little dogs. And
this is a movie about Tay Leone.
I know. Well,
to you it is.
Not just about Tay Leone, obviously. Although
also Joey Pants.
Wow. I appreciate that, like, that Will Smith and her don't get together at the end. You know, like, they're both single and available, but they don't get together at the end of this movie. And I can
right, because we can't have a black guy kiss a white woman.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
It just kind of brought me down.
Killed the part. Lights on.
Yeah.
Party's over.
Yeah. Get out.
There are some pretty good set pieces in this that are kind of ridiculous, but it's that kind of like when an 80s or a 90s action movie is clicking, it just works. Mm-hmm. There's a formula, but also like it's like video games. Like there's what they call a gameplay loop, and you have the player do something. It's usually 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and it's satisfying to do that. But it wouldn't be satisfying to do it over and over and over again. So you hide that the character or the player is basically doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And good action movies do that. It is set up a tension, break it with a joke, fists are flying or gunplay, probably another joke, a resolution, and you do it all over and over again. Mm-hmm. In a movie like Red Heat, you're clearly just, oh, it's time for a joke. James Belushi's bad joke.
Right.
Oh, here's a set piece that does, although the bus jousting was good, though. But like, here's a set piece that doesn't really work. Mm-hmm. Here's where James Belushi threatens to beat the crap out of a minority character or a woman or something like that.
Right.
It's like, wow, no.
Yeah.
But this is like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, they go, okay, we got to go to this club opening because we know the bad guys are going to be there. So they go to the club. It gives Michael Bay the opportunity to indulge in all the things that he wants to, which is lots of low-angle shots of, them going into the club, then like strobe lights, ladies dancing in those dresses that I described.
Right.
But then like Martin Lawrence is like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's just get the movie going. The guy he's next to at the urinal or whatever is one of the guys, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, Budweiser. I feel like I had a million of them. And the guy's like, whatever. And then like tries to kill him. He's got a plastic bag over his head.
Yes.
And for some reason, there's a clear behind
Fish
the bar.
tank?
There's a fish tank that looks into the bathrooms.
Yes.
It is club hell, I guess. That would be hell,
right?
And Will Smith is the ladies' man, so he's like messing with a lady at the bar.
Yeah.
And it isn't until Martin Lawrence or I think he throws the bad guy through the thing, and then suddenly now we're off to the races.
Yeah, and that's when
we set up at the beginning
that
the drug truck is outside, and one of the bad guys is gonna Paulie Walnuts or whatever is gonna smoke, and he's like, "Don't smoke, it's full of ether." So the good guys, as they're leaving the club, take the ether truck. Now they're being chased by the bad guys, and they throw the ether out the back, shoot those, they blow up. It's like
it's
a video game.
Yeah, it is a video
game.
game.
But it's like a good level in a video game.
It's really great.
Ether's like just is fourth build in this movie.
Well, like once they set that up, this is ether. You see those canisters again, and then like what it is, and it's like in like a video game. Like the good guys see it, and they know what it is, and they're like, "Well, I'll just shoot it for it."
There's an antique, disused hangar at Miami Opa where they're going to do the final drug deal.
Right.
So like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence call up their Hispanic cop friends, and they're like, this shit could get you killed. This is real. My shit always works sometimes. And then they, drive in there, and then you have a big shootout and everything, and everybody gets to play a part, do a role.
Yes.
She's got the gun because they keep locking into the steering wheel, and then I'll just do the whole movie. I got a one-man show.
Yeah, well, but she like takes the car and she drives it into ether, and she gets out of the car.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna get shot, and then Will Smith, knocks her down, and they all end up in the production car at the end. Oh no! First, the one rat-faced little henchman has made it this entire time, and he climbs onto the plane, which is surrounded by ether for some reason.
Yep.
Martin Lawrence says, "You forgot your boarding pass." Oh,
yeah, I know, right?
Blows him up.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Right.
And then like the main bad guy gets away in like this fancy car, and they're chasing them, and
it ties back to the beginning because Will Smith is talking about all the things that he knows about cars or whatever, and all the things the car can do.
Yep.
So as they're chasing the guy, they're like, because he's in like I don't really know cars enough to know, but like a antique French roadster or something like that, and they're in like a Lambo or whatever, or maybe it's a Ferrari, and he's like, "This is the fastest production car on the planet. You gotta catch him. That's how you drive from now on." Because Marcus is driving at the end.
Yes,
you have to switch roles,
and that was really great too because he's been giving Marcus crap the entire movie about how slow he drives.
Yeah,
and
for some reason there's a concrete barrier with one slot in it that's big enough for a sports car.
Just one car.
So instead of this is why I know that this guy's a drug dealer that's killed a lot of people, but we'll get him at the ports. Do you know what I mean? Chasing him. Grand Theft Auto is set in Miami. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like when do the tanks show up? How many more people are going to die to chase this old French guy?
Right.
But yeah, they force him out, and then he hits the thing, and they're like, "Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's how you drive." And it's like it's it's a cartoon, but yet it's real because they are bad boys. They're cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school, but like they're kind of surprised by what they're getting away with. That's why I don't like Bad Boys 2, is because they're just Supermen at that point. Like they're like, "Oh, I can't believe that we survived that." You know what I mean? And then there's some things like the French guy's trying to get away, and he's basically like, what's he going to do?
Well,
But they still have to like sort of, you think shooting somebody in the leg from 60 yards? No, this is where it is, right here. I'm shooting you in the face.
right.
And the guy's like, oh.
Well,
Why would you do it?
when
excuse me, there's a scene going on. And then Will Smith is like, no, I'm just sorry.
when they do the chase after they're escaping the club and the bad guys are following them, and we have the first ether thing. Like Martin Lawrence gets really pissed at Will Smith, like, you literally killed like the one lead we had, and he was like, I'm not going down for this. And we never know if they get in trouble for that or not. Like, as far as we know, they don't get in trouble, but they're on the news, they're getting recorded, and then like Martin Lawrence's kids see him on the news, and they're both like, Mom! And then like she comes running in the room, and then like she tracks him down and gets mad at him. Yeah, I don't know. It all works.
Underused Teresa Randall. But but it's so weird to I can't think of any other examples right now. I know there's a million of them, but it's like, this is supposed to be like a Miami cop movie, but let's merge it with like a Wildian farce where where this guy has to pretend to be earnest, and then like, no, you know what it is? Charlie's Aunt. That's what it is.
Okay, I don't know that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Where they have to like do this thing, and then they also have to keep the fiction up. So like now Mike is staying with the kids,
right?
And Martin Lawrence, as we've established, is frustrated sexually because he feels like he and his wife can't get enough time together because they've got 3 kids. And then you have this writes itself, but he calls up the house, and there's misconstrued as sexual dialogue.
Yeah.
So then he goes to his own house to try to break into his own house.
Yes.
But the bad guys have now figured out who he is, so the bad guys are staking out his house, and the cops are there too. So they're like, who is this guy trying to break into this guy's house? But it is the guy.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, that no other Michael Bay movie has even bothered to do anything close to that.
No, absolutely
and
not.
The world be poorer for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe Mark Wahlberg has a real great... I feel like he definitely tries to put farcical stuff in his films, but it just breaks down to racial stereotypes and Shia LaBeouf going, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm
like
thinking
that cat
of is
in
like,
that GIF.
Yeah, I think it's the first Transformers movie.
That's the only one you've seen.
I feel like I've seen more than that. Anyways,
what is the plot of the second one?
Well, you just let me tell my story. I don't want to answer your question right now. I want to
even
finish.
know if it's Dark of the Moon. I
don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But like Shia LaBeouf is trying to hide the Transformers at his house.
Right.
Now just listen to how ridiculous that sounds. He's trying to hide the Transformers.
He's trying to hide robots
literally transform
who are
into
in disguise.
Things that we know and recognize on Earth, and then they transform into robots. So why are they trying to hide secretly in the backyard?
Yes, I also saw that YouTube video.
Yes. Anyways, that's what it reminds me of. Like, that's like as farcical as he gets. He's like, ooh, isn't this funny? These big robots are trying to hide in this tiny backyard, and they're trying to be like statues and stuff like that. And it's like, wow.
Well,
and the parents in those movies, because they're just trying to be comedy, but they're not. They're not funny.
I have also watched those YouTube videos, the same ones you have.
Anyways,
it was written by the guy that wrote Die Hard 2.
I don't think
not funny.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen any of the other Die Hard movies. I think
Money
I've just
Train,
seen the original Die Hard.
Actually, you know what? Money Train, I think, does in some ways resemble this because it's another buddy cop. I can't remember if they're cops or not, but they're trying to rob a train. But anyway, it's and it's probably like it's a lot of like, oh my god, what do we got to get ourselves into?
Right. Okay.
We got 10 minutes left.
Oh,
I mean, look, really? I love this movie. I've seen it a million times, but like, I can't think of anything else to say about it.
How do we have 10 minutes left?
Unless you want to do a staged reading of the scene in which Julie goes to see the madam right before she's killed with a sledgehammer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the misogyny goes beyond just putting women in. There's that one girl that has a peekaboo window she's wearing like a top, a blouse.
Yeah.
And the tail end of the blouse just covers her panties, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
This is the opening scene where they're they're driving Mike's car.
Yes. Okay.
And apparently they're being tailed by car thieves.
Yes.
Because this is a really nice car. Mm-hmm. And that's where the guy, character actor, I can't remember his name, but he's in a lot of stuff. He's like, Will Smith's like, you're jacking a couple of cops right now.
Right.
This guy's like, oh, well, I'm a stand-up comedian. And I suck!
Yeah,
That's why I need your car.
Right. I know, that was great.
You can't improv. I mean, I guess you can improv that. But that's, at this point in his career, Michael Bay was working with comedy writers who wrote on scripts.
Yes.
In the future, that won't be true.
Right.
Well, some of the things that Alex Kurtzman writes are laughable. I don't know if he's a comedy guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a comedy
Look, this ain't
guy.
the Star Trek show. I can say whatever I want on this show.
I know. I did like how they were able to kind of like turn that around on the criminals, though. Like they were able to like take control of that situation and be like, "You're not
Wesley Snipes."
Yeah, right.
Passenger 57.
Right.
Tell me one of them jokes, bitch. Yeah, it's like, it's just designed to make them look as good as possible, but then also undercut it by having funny misunderstandings happen to them. Mm-hmm. Not Mark Wahlberg swinging a sword and shooting things and then later on yelling at somebody. Actually, later on, for 90% of the movie, yelling at people because he's frustrated.
Right.
And
that's not
probably
funny.
off camera has refused to look stupid in any scenes.
Uh-huh. Right.
Like, both these stars were willing to, like, yeah, we'll look dumb, fine. Because later on, we're going to be, tell me one of them joke, bitch. Like, they're going to get their moments.
Well, right. And I think when we were watching it, you were commenting, too, about how...
Vulnerability, the key to any action movie. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, key to comedy, for sure. At least part of it.
Tell that to Bender.
Don't even start. I don't even think Bender's that funny. But when the criminals are taking the drugs out of the police station, they've got this apparatus. I don't even know what it's called, but it's some hydraulic thing, and they're moving the drugs up to their getaway truck on it, and then each individual criminal rides up on it too. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty neat way to do it. Like you were talking about how it's smart, and it is really smart. I guess one thing I wasn't expecting is so it starts out and they're in the car before they're starting to do the heist, and there's a guy in the police uniform, and they're talking to him, and they're like, well, what's your role? And he's like, I'm the decoy, blah blah blah, and then the main guy shoots him, and everybody else is like what just happened? And it's
not really.
You don't think so?
No, we don't get any reaction shots.
Okay.
The point is that they do that heist, which is the setup for the film, and you could, you have to show something. It's cool. It's a spectacle. It's an action movie, but you could just start it with, "We're in a lot of trouble." That's. I bet you want to know how I got here.
Right, exactly.
Picking French fries out of my friend's car. See, we were cops, blah, blah, blah. But instead, they take, I don't know how long it is, let's say 6-7 minutes, and do an entire drug heist. Mm-hmm. These could be the heroes of the movie, you know what I mean?
Sure, yes.
In 6 or 7 minutes, and there is no air in it at all. It is, flawless. It is every bit of his, commercial training, just doing this thing. And so you got what is it? Big van. Full of guys with guns.
Yeah.
They have facial hair, so they're not cops, right? Bad guys. And then there's the one guy, and it's I'm a decoy. How do I look? Yeah, you look pretty good. Blam.
Yeah.
Then immediately we figure out, oh, he's, you shoot a quote-unquote cop, and all the cops go nuts and, swarm the place. But they're going to keep going, and then they introduce the rocket sled that pulls the drugs along and everything.
Yeah.
And the guy who just, he's a little gassy because of tacos.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is a very 90s film. There's a Power Rangers reference. There's a Michael Jordan is retired reference.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
What else is there?
Oh,
I haven't seen any slap
sure
bracelets.
But I'm sure there's a lot
or
of
gays
other
in the military
things.
joke. I didn't hear that at all. But
probably a good thing.
no, yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think of cultural events from the 90s.
Yeah.
This is now, the story has now become not two cops trying to solve a drug bust. It's two broadcasters trying to get to an hour on this topic.
Okay, I see what you're saying. How is this a problem for us with these two movies? I don't understand it.
I think that they are uncomplicated. If we were going to talk about 12 Years a Slave, we'd be here a while. If we were going to talk about, something by Steve McQueen or something like that, not that one, the other one, we'd be here a while. But,
I mean, I
it's
think
an action movie.
They're good films.
And it's a John Hughes movie.
Yeah, I especially enjoyed Bad Boys. Why is this so hard? I don't know. It's funny. I like how important things are.
Well, this isn't funny.
What?
Yeah.
What isn't funny?
I set the scene, and you're like, yeah, it's crazy. It's a good movie. It's got a thing and a do. You know,
what?
You have to accept my premise, accept the scene, and then add to it. What's the and? So it's like we're trapped, or there are guns to our heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we're the bad boys when you think about it, and it comes full circle. No, they're not full. What are they? It's not full circle. Who are the people that do Bad Boys? Here, we can waste time finishing.
I don't know.
This little thing.
Wow.
See, you're not really vamping. You're not.
I'm sorry, I'm not a good vamper either. I don't. These are skills that I need to work on, I guess.
Open. Why would it be an open circle?
What?
Inner circle.
What is this?
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Will Smith doesn't rap in this movie.
No, he doesn't.
And there is no rap song for this movie. The next movie, of course, was the Nelly and the Saint Lunatics doing Shake Your Tail Feather, and then of course Bad Boys for Life. I gotta cut them off. Yeah. This is too much. All right, computer, sorry. We'll be good. That's it for this week. I'll see you on a different week. And we'll try to talk about Howard's End or something like that and have more to say. That's it.